जो beliefs जो चीजें रोकती थी limited, they just got नहीं, no more,
And I'm sharing with you exactly, as best as I can, how I do what I do.
जो beliefs जो चीजें रोकती थी limited, they just got
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Kamran. How are you?
The moment you are on stage, you get into your state. You want to be an outstanding speaker, you want to be an outstanding communicator. So you train best when you are at your best.
मुझे हमेशा उड़ते परिंदे बड़े पसंद आते हैं and I have this feeling that you give me the wings to fly. And
now I think मेरी boundaries जो मैंने बनाई हुई थी, जो limitations मैंने बनाई हुई थी, I can't see them now.
अपने confidence के अंदर एक बहुत ज़्यादा boost देख रहा हूँ।
और जो beliefs जो चीजें रोकती थी limited, they just got नहीं, no more,
And I'm sharing with you exactly, as best as I can, how I do what I do.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope you can see me and you can hear me, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Kamran. Welcome. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well, thanks.
Alhamdulillah. People are joining now, slowly. Inshallah, in a few minutes we can start. What time is it there? Did you pray Zuhur prayer now?
I just did. It's 1:34.
Okay, we just had the Isha prayer now,
Excellent, mashallah.
Yes, we have some people now. Also, I advertised your YouTube channel. Probably people are listening from there as well, because sometimes it's difficult to join the Zoom. So I shared both channels, inshallah, okay?
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, let's just wait a few minutes more, because I am expecting some more people to join, inshallah.
Okay, if you want to wait, we will.
Yes, inshallah. Yes, brother, Assalamu alaikum. I think we can start now. Brother Kamran, if you are ready.
Yes, brother, I'm ready. Let's begin.
Inshallah. First of all, A'udhu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammed ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. My dear brothers and sisters, you are all welcome. This is our first NLP training program by Brother Kamran Sultan. Jazakallah khair, Brother Kamran Sultan. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation. Inshallah, we would like to see more of you in future in Turkey. And, you know, this is very important program. I am very happy to host Brother, Kamran Sultan. So who is Kamran Sultan? Or Brother Kamran Sultan is a life coach and licensed master trainer of NLP for Society of NLP USA, strategic intervention coach, counter supervisor for Joe Silva's Ultra Mind training. Maybe Brother Sultan will explain this, what's Ultra Mind training later. Certified humanistic NLP coach, certified 5-volt instructor. This is very interesting. Inshallah, we can walk on fire one day. Certified instructor of hypnosis and a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Jazakallah khair, Brother, Kamran Sultan. You are most welcome. We will be very happy to listen to you and benefit from your training. And inshallah, in future, we're planning some more programs with you. Now the screen is yours. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. I think we can, first of all, thank you, everyone. Thank you, brother, for inviting me. And thank you for arranging this session. I think we can begin with some basics, okay, some ideas. And, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Brother Suleiman can ask questions on behalf of all the participants who are here with us on Zoom here. And I know there are some people on YouTube as well. And if you want, you can post your questions there and I'll try to answer as many as I can. I don't have answers to all the questions, but if I have an answer, I'll let you know. If I don't have an answer, I'll let you know that as well. So since most of you here may not know Neuro Linguistic Programming, I'll start with some basic definitions of what Neuro Linguistic Programming is. Okay. And then some of the assumptions with which we work when we are using NLP, and some of the things that you can do with NLP. So it's like different levels of certifications that are offered, the trainings that are offered. I'll talk about all of those things. So first, Neuro Linguistic Programming. What is this thing? There are three things: neuro, linguistics, and programming. So when we speak of let's see, if you look at linguistics, it's the connection between the neurology and the programs that we run in our brains. So we all run many different programs. We call them thoughts. Okay. We have many different types of thoughts about everything in our life. We have thoughts about our past. We have thoughts about our present. We have thoughts about our future. We have thoughts that keep reoccurring every day. And, whatever we do, according to some researchers, the human brain generates thousands of thoughts. Some people say human brain generates 30,000 thoughts. Some say 60,000. I don't know, but there are thousands of thoughts. Okay. So brain generates lots of different thoughts every day. And we have all of those thoughts, running inside our heads all the time. And those thoughts are, for us, we represent them using our five senses. We have sight, sound, touch, smell, taste. And we express those thoughts through our words. Now, so neuro-linguistic programming is the study of how, whatever we are doing in terms of our thinking and in terms of our behavior. So when we say programming basically refers to different patterns of thinking and behavior and the actions that we do in our lives to produce any kind of results we get. Now, whether the results we get are the ones that we want, or the results we get are the ones that we don't want, whether we get results that we like, or whether we get results that we don't like, anything that's happening in our life is a result of something. Okay, so it's like in this world, if we want to have a fruit tree, we have to plant seeds. If you don't plant seeds, we will not have fruits. Okay, now I know miracles can happen, but miracles don't always happen, not for people like me and you. We have to do our part. So we have to plant seeds. And if I'm planting, let's say if I'm planting a mango tree, I will get mango as fruit. I will not, if I'm planting, let's say, banana, and I expect to get mango, this is not going to work. No matter how positive I am, no matter how faithful I am, no matter how excited I am, no matter how motivated I am, if I'm planting banana seeds, I'll get bananas. I'll not get mango. Okay, so in our lives, in our relationships, in our finances, in our health, there are certain kind of seeds that we keep on implanting here in our heads. This is the most fertile ground that we have, our brains, our hearts. And whatever we plant here will sprout for us. So that what we are implanting become the patterns of thinking for us. And in NLP, we are calling them programs. Okay, so you and I, we run a number of different programs in our brains. Not all the programs that you and I run are good programs. So for example, somebody wants to start a career, a new profession, but there is a program in the back of their mind that tells them, no, you can't do this. You're not good enough. Okay, somebody wants to approach a new client or prospect and make some business deal, but there is this program, a voice in their head that tells them, no, you will not succeed. Oh, what if they say no? What if they reject you? So those programs stop us from doing the kind of things that we are capable of doing, we can do. And this is the reason you find many highly qualified people, very educated people don't amount to much in their lives, in spite of the fact that they have everything going for them, apparently, but there is something going on inside that stops them from optimizing their potential. So neuro-linguistic programming, when we say programs, we are studying those thought patterns that people run inside their heads. Now, when we say linguistics refers to both our verbal as well as nonverbal communication. Okay, now within communication, there are a number of things. So there is one communication that we do with other people, the intrapersonal aspects of communication. Okay, so I'm communicating with you, you are communicating with me. That's our intrapersonal communication. Now there is an interpersonal communication, the communication that goes on inside each one of us. My own dialogue with myself or your own dialogue to yourself. In NLP, we study effects of communication on human neurology and human behavior and human performance. Okay, so within that communication, both interpersonal and intrapersonal, there are multiple things. So we have words, we have tonalities with which we express those words, and then we have our physiology, our body language, that we use to express those words to other people and sometimes to ourselves as well. So the complex, way in which we use all of these things end up creating the results that we get. Okay, and when we say neuro, we are talking about the five senses, the sight, sound, touch, smell, taste, and all of the processes that go on inside our brains. So in very layman terms, I would say NLP is the study of how people do what they do and how they can change if they want to change something. Now, for us, for humans, there are three major areas of concerns: our health, our wealth, and our relationships. So if you're really healthy, it's like Allah Ta'ala has sent us in this world and He will test us. So we will be tested throughout our lives. So these tests, in most cases, will come in one of these areas, either health or wealth or relationships. So if, it's like there is something, let's suppose I'm perfectly healthy, a person is perfectly healthy, but then they may have issues in their, finances, their business, their careers. Some people may have wonderful careers and wonderful health, and then they have problems in their relationships. So, we are being tested in different ways. And these are the three major areas of concern for all of us. The thing is that we cannot change what's happening outside of us, but we can always do something that we are doing inside of us. And by changing what we are doing inside of us, we can at least, show up better, more resourceful to things happening outside of us. Okay. NLP is a technology of mind that helps us access our own resourcefulness. So there are a number of assumptions that we have around NLP, and we call them the presuppositions of NLP. Okay, in some places, if you read NLP books, you will find these are also called convenient beliefs of NLP. Now, before I, talk about them, let me tell you that when we say these beliefs or the assumptions of NLP, we are not saying that they are true, and we are not saying they're false. But what we are saying is, as NLP practitioners, when we work with ourselves or with other people, we act as if this is the case. Okay, so these are the assumptions with which we operate when we are working or using NLP. And first of those assumptions is, or the convenient beliefs or the presupposition of NLP is, that perception is not reality. That we are all map makers. We all form perceptions of the world. So, it's like our brain is receiving millions of bits of data every moment. So, there's so much information going on. Okay. So as I'm speaking to you right now, not only that you're listening to me or you're looking at this screen and seeing me, you can actually hear sounds in your environment right now. You can feel the temperature of the room that you are in right now. You can feel your weight on this place where you're sitting right now. You can feel the rise and fall of your chest as you inhale and exhale right now. You can feel the blink of your eyes. You may notice that, when you inhale, your breath feels kind of slightly, colder. And when you exhale, it's slightly warmer. And as you're inhaling, you're like inhaling oxygen and you're exhaling carbon dioxide. And all of these things, all of this information is going to your brain in this moment, all at the same time. But if you would try to process all of this all at once, the system will get halted. It's like, if you open too many windows in your mobile or in your computer, you find the system gets jammed. It's the kind of thing that happens with our brain if we try to process all the information. So what our brain does is, Allah Ta'ala has designed it that way, that we keep doing certain processes. So the information that we are receiving, we distort it, we delete it, and then we generalize it. And through these process of distortion, deletion, and generalizations, we are forming perceptions. So someone who's just joined this session today, and someone who's here since the beginning of the session, if these two people talk and they ask, what has happened in the session, the person who has, who's here since the beginning will give 100% truthful account of what they think has happened. In spite of that, another person who's been there since the beginning will give a different account. And none of them would be lying. But they will be expressing, sharing information after deleting, distorting, and generalizing. Okay. Some people may say, he's just given some introduction. Okay. Some people say, I really don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Some people may say, this is something interesting. So what people will do is they'll put labels on whatever they have experienced and express using distortions, deletions, and generalizations. They will share their own experiences. Every one of them would be telling the truth, yet everyone will have a different truth. So when we say we are all map makers, we make maps of experiences in our lives. We experience an event, we experience a situation. Two twin brothers or sisters experience same situation at the same time in the same moment, but they register it differently. So they found their own sets of perceptions. And that's what we are saying, that we are all map makers. And we all hold our own maps of reality as reality. So it's like I say, so there are two kinds of realities. A capital R reality, a reality that's the shared reality. So for example, we have an understanding, people who understand and speak the English language would call this structure a glass. And the liquid in this, water. We have this shared reality of this. Okay. Now, and then that's what I call the capital R reality. And then we have a small r reality. Okay. And that small r reality is my perception, and your small r reality is your perception. So this is a good glass or this is not a good glass. My judgments about the glass, about the quality of the glass, about the quality of water, about the quantity of water. It's enough, it's not enough, it's more than enough. Okay. Whatever qualities I'm describing, that's based on my small r reality. So in my map of the world, in my perception, this is a beautiful glass. But for another person, this is, a pathetic glass, an ugly looking glass. Now, who is right? From our perspectives, both of us. So in the same way, we experience life. We have situations. We have events. We have things happening outside of us. And we form perceptions of those things. And then we start running those perceptions, those pictures in our heads. And to us, it appears as if the movie in my mind is real. Let me give you an example. So since most people are here are from Turkey, in Pakistan, the Turkish program, Ertugrul was like very popular. It's like if you go and search Ertugrul on YouTube in Urdu, you'll find like I was talking to Brother Suleiman that day. I was just showing him on YouTube. Ertugrul, the first season has like 124 million views. Okay. They literally had million views in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, actually. It was super popular. And there were some people who were so excited about this drama, this program. It's such a beautiful production, such a nice production. But people were so involved in it, so emotionally involved in it. And at that time, I used to say, it's like if one of those characters were playing the roles of the villains in that series, if they go to Pakistan, somebody would start fighting with them. Because, they are so deeply involved in that thing. Okay. Now, let's suppose, for argument's sake, we say that everything that's shown in this program is 100% true. For argument's sake, we say there is no dramatization, that everything that is shown in this drama is exactly how it happened. Ertugrul actually sat with his horse and, talked to him. Let's assume everything that's shown is there. However, the fact remains that you and I, when we are watching it on screen, we are not seeing the real people. We are looking at some actors who are playing some characters, even though the drama is based on 100% truth. Now, take this and see what we are doing inside our heads. We have experiences. Something bad happened, or even something good happened. And then we run a movie of that in our heads. and then we experience good or bad because of the movie in our head. So somebody said something positive to us and we felt good about it. Or somebody said something not positive and we feel bad about it. Now the person may have forgotten all about it. But the person, let's suppose the person said this to Mr. X, and then Mr. X was feeling really good because somebody praised him, or, and then this person who praised has forgotten. But Mr. X has repeated that so many times in his head. And now he's feeling good. He's feeling good not because somebody said something, but because there is something that he is doing in his mind in this moment. So NLP is the study of those perceptual models that we create and how those perceptual models affect our behavior. And how, by altering those perceptual models, we can make, changes in our behavior. NLP is a behavioral technology. Okay, it's about understanding human behavior. As I said, it's about how people do what they do and how you can change what you want to change. I hope this is making sense. Please let me know, because I've been speaking to the screen here. Okay, so Brother Sulaiman, let me know. Does this make sense so far? Is it clear?
Yes, brother, it's very clear. You are teaching us how to shape our emotions and not accept as conceptions as reality. Everyone has a different conception, and sometimes we think this is the whole reality, which is not. So we are learning how to shape our emotions, how to shape our conceptions, maybe. Jazakallah khair. It is really very nice. Thank you very much. If you want, I can share my video, but I don't want to take attention of other people. So I close the video, Thank you.
Thank you. So, it's like if you have any questions, by the way, please do post. I'll as I said, I'll answer, and Brother Sulaiman can read your questions for me, and inshallah ta'ala, I'll answer those questions for you. If I'm because in NLP, the first level of training is called NLP practitioner training. That's like a 70 hours of training. Okay, so I'm trying to give you an abridged version of abridged version of that 70 hours training. If we so for example, if I start just describing just the basic definition of NLP, what NLP is, that may take like 40 minutes. So I'm just trying to compress everything for you and trying to present it in a way that will make sense to you. So the first assumption is that perception is not reality. Okay? We are all map makers. We have perceptions of things in our lives, and we act on the basis of our perceptions. So the second assumption is, the second belief in NLP, the convenient beliefs in NLP is that it doesn't matter what happens in our lives. What really matters is what we think is happening. Okay? It's like how we are interpreting something. So somebody smiled at us, we may interpret, oh, he or she likes me. Or we may interpret it as, oh, she's thinking bad about me. Okay, it's not what happened outside, it's how we interpreted it. And our interpretations about events influence our feelings. So there's this model, I'm not sharing any slides here, but there's this model that we use. It's called the basic communication model. So we have outside experiences in the world, and then we make interpretations of those experiences. But our interpretations are based on a number of things. And one of those things is the state of mind that we are in. If you are in a good state of mind, if you're feeling good, let me just give you an experience. You will understand it better. NLP is best understood, through experience. So I want you to experience something. I want you to think about something not so nice, something not pleasant. Okay, just for a moment. Okay, just I want you to think about something not very pleasant for you. Okay. Maybe somebody criticized you and you felt bad. You posted something on Facebook and you had an argument with someone, something which is not pleasant. I want you to think about that. Pick one thing only and don't pick anything major for now. Okay, the purpose here is not to do any kind of therapy. The purpose is to learn something. Okay, it will help you understand something. And just be with that thought for a moment. Just recall that moment. And as you recall that, please do comment here. Okay. So I would know. Were you looking up or down? Just type 2 if you're looking down and type 1 if you were looking up. That will make it easier and quicker for everyone. Type 2 if you're looking down. Notice that we are getting 2 here. Looking down, Samira says looking down. Zaida says 2. It's 2. Okay. So when you are thinking of something unpleasant and feeling not so good about it, are you looking up or are you looking down? That's my question, Zara. Down. Notice that every one of you, I didn't tell you to look down. You did it yourself. Now that shows us something. I'll come to that. Okay, I want you to notice this. When you're doing this, are you sitting with your shoulders up or are your shoulders dropped? Let me tell you a few things. If your shoulders are dropped, just type 3. If they're up, type 4. Notice you're getting same response. So were you breathing high in chest or were you like, ah? Okay, if you were high in chest, type 5. If you were, down, type 6. Notice there is something for you to learn here. I can tell you what you are doing. Okay. Why? Because notice everyone is giving you the same answer. Why is that so? Because humans follow similar patterns. Humans follow similar patterns. We do the same kind of things. There is more to this. Now I want you to try something, okay? I want you to just stretch, just like this, okay? Maybe clap like this. And then I want you to, think about something really pleasant, really nice, really good. Maybe just like you had a hug from a loved one, or you kissed your child, and it's like that feeling of really feeling good. Something that really makes you feel good, something that's really good for you. Just remember that. Hold your thoughts, just recall that moment. Okay. Hold that thought, hold that. Ooh. Now I want you to notice. Were you looking up or down this time? Type 1 if you're looking up. Notice that we are getting 1, 1, 1 looking up. Now, tell me, when you're breathing, is your breathing like this, or are you breathing high in chest? Okay. If it's high in chest, type 3. If it's type 4. Notice there's a pattern, there's a consistent pattern here. It tells us something. Now, we have 1, 4 here as well. Okay. Notice, but most of people are following the same pattern. Here's another thing. I can tell you that when you were thinking about the unpleasant thing, you were sitting with your spine bent. And when you're thinking of something pleasant, you're sitting with your spine straight. Okay. Now, how do I know that? Because I know that for humans, in order to produce a certain kind of effect in them, there is something they have to do with their physiology. There is something they have to do with their breathing. There is something they have to do with their eyes. There is something they have to do in order to experience something. Now, for most of us, we tend to believe that things happen to us, that I am a passive agent of events happening outside of me. And as if I have no control over myself. You know, somebody smiles and makes my day. Somebody frowns and spoils my day. I'm just a puppet. Other people make me feel good or bad. That's how most people live their lives. The other mistake with which we live is we have this huge misunderstanding that events outside of us cause us to feel good or bad. And we forget that Allah Ta'ala has given us this power. I want you to try something before we go to the next thing. I want you to sit straight. Okay. I want you to breathe high in chest, move your shoulders back, keep your spine straight. Okay. I want you to, don't look at the screen. It's perfectly okay. Okay. I want you to just listen to my instructions, look up above your eye level. And then I want you to bring a smile on your face. And I want you to make a tight fist. Okay. And then do this. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Keep holding this physiology. And while holding this, I want you to think about that unpleasant experience you were thinking of. Notice you can't do that. Because this physiology cannot hold that thing. So you hold your spine straight, you look up, you have that smile on your face, and you try to think of unpleasant, it won't process. It just cannot. Remember that hadith, when you're feeling angry, if you're standing, sit down. If you're sitting, lay down. In NLP, we say, you change your physiology and your state of mind will change. You know, so it's like when you're praying, cry. If you can't, make your face as if you're crying. Change your physiology and your state of mind will change. You get this? And has not Allah Ta'ala given us this ability to change ourselves just like that? But what happens with us is, when something wrong, something bad happens, rather than doing something to get out of it, we do the opposite. You know, we turn the lights off and we say, oh, just let me be alone. Don't talk to me. I don't want to listen to anyone. I want to listen to this sad music. Okay. And then we go deeper into misery rather than coming out of it. Okay. Well, that gives us some attention from some people, but that doesn't solve our problem. Okay. So if objective is to get attention, it's perfectly okay to, feel bad. Something wrong happened. Okay. But if you want to solve problems, you need to work on yourself and get out of that state. So in NLP, we say that every resource you need to produce any change is already within you. It's just because you have not accessed it doesn't mean it's not in you. The resource is in you. Allah Ta'ala has given you and me everything that you and I need. You know, I like to describe it this way. Just imagine this. If you have a child, if you're a parent, and when you were a child, when your parents sent you to school, parents give their children a bag, copies, scale, a water bottle, some money, some pocket money, the lunch box, and they want to make sure that my child is like for next 4 or 5 hours that he will be away from home, away from me on their own. They have everything they would need to have a good day. Isn't that true? Don't we do that? Don't all parents try to the best of their abilities do that? Just think about this. We humans do that with our children. And the one who sent us here for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, do you think he just sent us like that? Just like everything that you and I need is here. He has given it to us. We are not accessing it. It's like a child goes, the mother had the lunch box in the bag, but the child, while running, the lunch box got lost somewhere inside the bag. And then child during the break opens and he says, "Oh, mom, Amma didn't give me lunch today." And he comes back home and says, "Mother, you didn't give me lunch." And she said, "It was there. You didn't look enough." And then he opens his bag and finds the lunchbox was always there. Allah Ta'ala has given you and me everything that you and I need. But when we get bogged down with things happening in our lives, we stop accessing it. If we are not accessing it, doesn't mean it's not there. NLP gives us this ability, this understanding, this awareness of what is inside us and how we can access it. Does that make sense?
Yes, brother, it's really making, mashallah, very good sense. Allah gave us everything. But trouble is we don't make research, all these psychological powers, because we are the best of creation. Ahsan taqweem. Allah gave us all our needs in our program. But mashallah, we need people like you to excavate and, bring this to the surface, inshallah.
Inshallah. Brother, not only that we are best of the creation, is the sad part that we don't realize, that we have forgotten. We are the best of the ummah. Not just best of the creations. We are the best of the ummah. We have lost touch with our own selves. That's the saddest part. We get influenced by so many other things so easily. We have stopped using our own heads, the resources that Allah has given us. That's the sad part. So NLP basically, these are a couple of assumptions behind NLP that I've shared with you. So first is that every resource that you and I need, it's already within you. The perception is not reality, that we operate on the basis of our perceptions. And by changing our perceptions, we can change our realities. And I'm talking about the small r realities. Because our behavior is based on our own, those small r realities. Okay, it's not based on the big reality. It's based on that small r reality. Okay, and that small r reality is what we can change. So for example, I want you to try something. Okay, since we have like 15 more minutes, I want you to think about your favorite food. Okay, and I want you to notice, you have an image in your mind when you think of your favorite food. Okay. And notice the image in your mind. Is it like a color image or a black and white image? Is it a big image or a small image? Where is the image in your mind? Is it like on any specific side? Is it on the right or your left or the front or the back? Just notice that. Is this image big image or is this a small image? And when you're thinking about this food you like, how do you feel? Do you feel like eating it or experiencing it? And do you feel tempting? I want you to try something. I want you to take that image wherever that is in your mind. Okay. And I want you to, start gradually. Imagine as if like you have a remote controller in your hand, and then you're making that image bigger and bigger. Okay. And as you make it bigger, notice if your feelings increase or decrease. For most people, when they make an image bigger, their feelings increase. Okay. Then I want you to make that image the same size it was, and then I want you to start shrinking it and make it smaller and smaller and smaller. Make it half the size. And notice if your feelings increase or decrease. For most people, when they make an image smaller, their feelings decrease. There is no hard and fast rule here. There is no right and wrong here. Okay, but I'm telling you, generally speaking, this is how it works. This may not be true for everyone, but this is generally how it works. So if you make that image the same size again, now I want you to imagine pushing that image away from you, farther and farther and farther. And notice if your feelings increase or decrease. For most people, when they push an image farther and away from them, their feelings decrease. Now, bring that image closer and closer and closer and closer to yourself, and notice if your feelings increase or decrease. For most people, feelings increase. Okay. Now, so I want you to move that image where it was, make it the same size. And I want you to notice if it's a color image, I want you to imagine as if like you have a remote controller and you are making the colors fade away. So it's becoming black and white. And when you make it black and white, do your feelings increase or decrease? For most people, when they make an image black and white, their feelings decrease. And then I want you to make it color again. And, make those colors even richer, really rich. And notice if your feelings increase or decrease. For most people, when they make colors richer, their feelings increase. Okay. Now, what you are just, doing, and there are lots of things within this, but what you are doing right now is you're basically running your own brain. Do you realize that? So, sometimes we have this food and it's so tempting. And we have this like, I have no control. I have to have it. No, you don't have to have it. You always have a choice. I want you to try something. Okay. So just leave this image where it is. I want you to think about food that you don't like. And ideally, it's like if this is some kind of liquid, bring something liquid. For example, I'm just giving you an example. So some people like to drink cold drinks, okay, soft drinks, Pepsi, Coke, and they don't like to drink, say milk, okay? So I want you to think about something which is like, if this is liquid, then I want you to pick something which is liquid. If this is something solid, so I love chocolates, but I don't like butter, okay? I want you to pick something That's okay. Or I love ice cream, but I don't like the cream. Okay. So I want you to pick something which is similar in texture. Okay. So I like a certain fruit, but I don't like a certain vegetables. Okay. So I don't like, say, potatoes, but I do like, say, mangoes. Okay. So I want you to pick something which is similar kind of thing. Okay. Something which you don't like within that same category. So, and I want you to notice when you think of the food you don't like, is it color or black and white? Is it bright or dim? Is it focused or unfocused? Is it bigger than life size, smaller than life size, as big as life size? Notice where that image is in your mind. Is it like in front, on the right, or the left, up, above you, below you? Where is it? Just notice. You don't have to tell me. This is for your own understanding. Do you have any internal voice with this? It's like, so sometimes when people look at the food they like, they have and when they think of the food they don't like, okay. Do you have anything of that sort? Just notice that. You don't have to answer, just I want you to notice it. It's for your understanding. Now, I want you to take this image. Okay. And I want you to make the food you don't like, okay, I want you to make it smaller and make it dimmer. And then make it bigger. Bring it closer. And for most people, when they bring an image closer, their feelings increase. So if it's something that you don't like, the dislike will increase. Okay. And then I want you to move it away from you. You will notice as you move it away, your feelings will change. They may start decreasing for you. Okay. Let's do something else now. Okay. So I just want you to notice where that image is for you of the food you don't like. Okay. And now I want you to look at the image of the food that you said you liked. Okay, so let's say the food you like is here and the food you don't like is here. These are like two different locations. Okay. Have you played this game, Angry Birds? Have you ever used like catapult? Okay. Or bow and arrow. Okay, we have seen that. Okay, I want you to imagine like this image of the food you like. Okay, somebody puts it into a catapult or a bow and like pulls it all the way back and then points it in the direction of the food you don't like. Okay, and I want you to imagine it's pointing it in that direction and very rapidly it comes here. It's right here. The image is here. And as it gets here, suddenly its size changes, its size adjusts, its brightness adjusts to the brightness of the food that you didn't like. And you know what? In Angry Bird, we have 3 chances. So let's have the second chance. I want you to take that image again. Okay, pull it all the way back and target that location of the food you don't like. And then very rapidly, okay, and it just suddenly adjusts and becomes exact same color, same brightness, same size. Even though it's a different food, but the quality of picture, the size of the picture, the coloration of the picture, this everything, that has changed. The third chance, take that image all the way back and right. Okay. And it changes. And notice this space, there is this blank space where the food that you liked, you said that it used to be, there is an empty space there now. I want you to now take that image of the food that you said you didn't like, and let's do that. Take that image and somebody pulls it all the way back, targeting that space, and gets here. Okay. Takes it, pulls it all the way back, targets that in space where you had the food you liked, and then as it gets there, suddenly its color, its brightness, everything starts adjusting. So it becomes as colorful, as bright as the food you like used to be. And then you take the third chance and just make it. Now, wherever you are, I want you to spell out your names out loud in reverse. Okay. Don't have to type, don't have to say anything, but I want you to do this. Okay. Spell out your names out loud, loud enough that you can hear. And remember, I'm asking you to do it in reverse. And then spell your name again, the correct way. Okay. So I want you to think about the food you said you liked and notice how do you feel. And where is the image of the food that you said you liked? Has it moved? If it has moved, notice how does that feel? For most people, if they're followed by instructions, they'll find the likeness for the food has decreased. And the food that they said they didn't like, if they have moved it here, they'll find it gets in that acceptable range, if not likable. Okay. So what you have just done is, just think about this. So there is this food and, I'm getting overweight and this is not healthy for me. But then I say, oh, I don't have any control over it. No, Allah has given you that control. You are not using it. It's about using what Allah has given you. It's like, it's as if like this food is controlling me. No, I am the one who controls this. I'm the one who controls my desires, not this little food that controls my desires. Okay, so now there is this food which is good and healthy for me, but I don't like it. It's like when I am coaching people, I often tell them, you see, there's a difference between being an adult and being a child. Children do things because they like it, or they don't do it because they don't like it. I feel like doing it because I like doing it, so I do it. And I don't do it because I don't feel like doing it. That's a child's behavior. People who are really grown up from here and here, okay? Not people who have chronologically grown up, but people who have really grown up. They do things which are right in spite of the fact they don't like them. Like, I don't like getting up in the morning and working out, but that's something good for me. You understand? I don't feel comfortable when I have slept late already, then I don't feel like getting up for Fajr and like saying my prayer. And then this cold weather is, winters are just starting and then it's like performing ablution in the morning. Oh my God, it's so difficult. As a child, I would say, oh, I don't do it because I don't like it. As an adult, I say, I do it whether I like it or not, because this is what I'm supposed to do. So NLP gives you this ability to access your own resourcefulness. So in NLP, when you're learning, the levels of certifications, when you start learning, the first level of certification in NLP is called NLP practitioner training. NLP practitioner training is 70 hours of training. And that's like including breaks, of course. And then the next level is called NLP master practitioner training. That's another 90 hours of training. And then after that, the third level is NLP trainers training. And then after that, the highest level of certification in NLP is master trainer. I'm a master trainer in NLP. So, but these are the certification levels. So I hope this is good for today. I think, see, 1 hour passed so quickly. I just barely touched the surface. There's so much within this. If you go to my YouTube channel, there are over 400 videos. There's a complete program, NLP in the Light of Islam, which is in English because most of my videos are in like Urdu and English, a combination of both. But there's this program called NLP in the Light of Islam. That's a 30 days training program. You can go through that and learn a lot of things. It's already uploaded on my YouTube channel. If you check my playlist, you will find that. And you will learn a lot of things. It's like specifically NLP and how you can apply it being a Muslim and to become a better Muslim. I did that program during last Ramzan. It was like 1 session every day. So you can check that. And if you have any questions, anything, yes, Brother Suleiman, do you want to say anything?
Kamran, Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. I watched most of your Ramadan videos that you uploaded. They are really very useful to understand the gist of what's NLP. The trouble, unfortunately, some people abused NLP in the past. They made like, if you think something, you can be rich in a moment. The next day you will be a billionaire. So this kind of, cheap NLP courses made some bad impression, but mashallah, what you are saying is you should give your soul and you're trying very hard, then you will change. I think inshallah from now on we will follow you up in your YouTube channel as well as from your activities. And one thing I would like to ask, some people are saying psychology is haram, sometimes NLP is haram. What I say is, brother, who is using this? Psychology, I mean, father of psychology is like, I don't know, sometimes they are saying very funny things and un-Islamic things. So this NLP is Islamicized version of psychology. What do you think?
So NLP is quite different from psychology. Okay, and some people mistake and think that it's about psychology. It's not. NLP does have applications in a lot of things. So I know many psychologists. I've personally trained many psychologists, and in addition to that, I know many psychologists who have learned NLP and they're using NLP in therapeutic contexts. But NLP is not about therapy. NLP is about is a model that attempts to describe how humans do what they do. Okay, and as far as Brother Haram and Halal is concerned, NLP has nothing to do with any religion. It's all about communication. Okay, it's like I heard somebody saying, because there's this book, the very first book on which was written by the founders of NLP is called The Structure of Magic. Okay, and now they think, oh, this is about magic. Okay. This is about magical therapy, not magic per se, the thing that you call magic. Okay, it's like sometimes the very first book NLP is a model of communication. Okay, and that's a book which was written as a result of Richard Bandler and John Grinder, the two founders of NLP, and studying and finding out. They modeled a very famous therapist of her time. Her name was Virginia Satter. And Virginia Satter was one of those people who used to work with people. She used to do family therapy. And many times when others were not able to solve those problems, she was able to work with those people and help them. So she was considered a magician in her field. Like, people wondered, how does she do that? Because she was doing a lot of things intuitively. For her, that was like the way that she had developed as a therapist. working with people. Richard Bandler and John Rinder, when they studied her, and they found that she uses language in a very specific manner. Okay, so they wrote that book, which is basically describes how Virginia Satter did what she did. And since what she was doing was considered magic, it was magical. So the name of the book is Structure of Magic. So people like, oh, this is magic, so this is haram. Come on, yeah, at least read the book. At least read the book, please, before you get to this. Like you read a title and you get to this. It's like sometimes people do with Muslims a similar kind of thing. Oh, since he's a Muslim, he has a beard, so means that he's a terrorist.
Kind of.
That's the same kind of mindset that this depicts. Oh, since this is a book has the word magic in it, this is magical, so it's haram. Come on. Please at least do your research. At least read some books. Okay. And as far as you see, NLP is a tool, my friend. It's just a tool. Okay. So you can use a gun to protect people and to kill people. And gun has nothing to do with it. It's who's holding the gun. Okay, it's a tool. So people can use it for personal development. People can use it for self-improvement. I've been learning NLP since 1991. I've been teaching since 1997. So far, roughly, I've trained others in NLP for at least 35,000 hours. And I'm often surprised by people who have not even read a book, or people who have read one book and got to this conclusion. I know people who have taken some basic kind of training from some weird, the kind of things that you're saying, like people say, oh, you just, you become a millionaire or a billionaire after learning NLP. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, my friend. I've had, it's like, even when I was a master trainer, not long ago, about 10 years ago, my business, my life was going up like this, and something happened and my life went down just like that. Towards the end of 2013 and 2014, that was the worst year of my life. I was a master trainer of NLP, by the way. I became a master trainer in 2014. And in 2014, I became a broke as well. Okay? Because this is how it is. Allah Ta'ala, sometimes He tests us by blessing us with something, and sometimes He tests us by taking blessings away from us. So when He gives us, we become thankful. When He takes things from us, we become patient. These are the two things. Sabr and shukr, these are the two things that we have. But when Allah will test, there is only one guarantee. It's like, it's like, I think it's Surah Ankabut, ayat number 2, Allah Ta'ala says, do men believe, or people believe, that they'll be left alone on saying, I believe? Do they think that they'll be left alone on saying, I believe? And in Surah Baqarah, ayat 155, Allah Ta'ala says, surely we will test you with hunger, fear, death, loss of labor. He doesn't say, oh, once you have become, so and so, then you will not be tested. No, don't think like that, my brother. You will be tested no matter what. The fact is that we all are tested. We all will be tested. The only thing that we don't know is when we will be tested and how we will be tested. Test will be there. We are constantly tested. So either we become more humble and humble servant to Allah, or we become, oh, I'm a practitioner of NLP or a master practitioner of NLP. Come on. Okay. It works that way. So, and unfortunately, many people think that, so, and somebody has a question. I'll answer that question, inshallah.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So, people have these weird ideas about things, and it's like, if you learn this and everything happens, you see, the thing is this world is Darul Amal. Here, now just think about this. Who are Ashab Sufa? Those were Sahaba who had like dedicated their lives to, for lack of better vocabulary and shortage of time, I'm just saying it this way, who had like dedicated their lives to learn from the Prophet ﷺ in his lifetime, and they were not doing anything. As a result of that, those Sahaba were the poorest. Some of them didn't even have clothes to wear, except, a shawl or something. They didn't have food to eat. What does that indicate? That this life in this world, even if you are at the highest level of Iman, like Sahaba, if you do not do something to earn from this world, you will not get it. This world is Darul Amal. If somebody gives you this wrong idea that you will close your eyes and you will start attracting things in your life, they are making a fool of you. That may sound very attractive, but it doesn't work. And you will find those people who are telling you these things are doing a lot of work in this physical world through advertisements. They're telling you to close your eyes and do things, but they're not doing the same themselves. They're advertising their courses to get you to sit with eyes closed, but they're not sitting with their eyes closed. They're actually making sure that they have an advertised product and people talk to them and they do all the marketing they can. But they tell you, you just take our course and close your eyes and you will get everything. Come on. Don't be so stupid. So Zahra has a question. Is hypnotherapy or hypnosis haram? The question is, what is hypnosis? Before you get to this, is it halal or haram? Do you know what it really is? I started learning hypnosis when I was about 13, back in 1983. You do the calculation. It's like it's been 40 years since I've been a student of hypnosis. And I've had these discussions with countless people. Oh, is it haram? And you know what? When people say it's haram, I say, okay, for argument's sake, I accept it as haram. Okay, you say it's haram, I accept it. No question. Just tell me one thing. What is hypnosis? Give me basic definition. And I have not yet come across a single person who first gave this fatwa on it that it's haram and then knew the definition, the basic definition. Do you understand? You see, any sufficiently advanced technology seems like magic to the uninitiated. Somebody said that. Yeah, that's not me saying it. But if you think about this, right now we are connected on some devices. Just imagine 50 years ago, if somebody had said this to our grandfathers or grandmothers, that you have this device and you look at this and you will see a person sitting thousands of miles away and you'll be able to talk to them. They'll say, oh, don't do that. That's magic. That's haram. Okay, that's jinn. We hold that jinn in our pocket, jinn in our pocket every day, and we talk to our loved ones, and we don't consider them as jinn. Why? Because we now understand this is technology. Hypnosis, there are many different definitions. I have many videos, but let me give you very simple, my understanding after learning it for like 40 years. This is how I understand it now. Anything, any idea that you and I have accepted without questioning it, without critically analyzing it, is hypnotic. Somebody said, you are a beautiful person. You accepted that. That's hypnosis. Somebody said you are ugly and you will never amount to anything, and the person accepted that. That was hypnosis too. It's all communication. So somebody hypnotized someone into believing that hypnosis is haram, and they believed it without questioning whether this person knows anything about hypnosis or not. and on what basis he's get to that conclusion. I come across people say, oh, you know, it's haram because hypnotists, they use jinn. You know what? American Medical Association approved of hypnosis as a legitimate form of therapy in 1958. In other words, if it is haram and if it is use of jinn, what you are saying is American Medical Association, they are allowing people to use jinn in therapy. Makes sense. Get these things, my friends. Why don't you just go ahead and do some research? It's so easy these days. It's just a few clicks away. Go and check it right now. Does American Medical Association allow hypnosis as a legitimate form of therapy? Go and check that right now. And since when? 1958 or 57. American Psychology Association allows hypnosis and considers it as a legitimate form of therapy. So psychologists, these like atheists who don't believe in God and don't believe in jinn, is allowing people to use jinn. Makes sense. Okay, come on. Hypnosis. There are many different definitions, but you know, one of the traditional standard definitions of hypnosis is it's a state of mind in which suggestions have an exaggerated impact upon the person experiencing it. It's the state of mind when your and my critical faculties are subdued. It's that same state of mind that you and I experience just before you enter sleep and just before you wake up. In the morning, when you have set your alarm for Fajr and the alarm goes off and you are like switching it off, you're not sleeping anymore and you're not awake anymore. That state of mind, my friend, is what you experience in hypnosis. Similarly, when you go to bed and you're sitting or laying down with your eyes closed, and an onlooker may think that you're sleeping, but if they ask you a question and if you want, you can respond. You just don't because you're feeling so deeply relaxed. You don't want to disturb your sleep. That state is hypnotic. That's all you experience in hypnosis. That's what you and I use every single night. There are certain phenomena. Maybe we'll have another session someday, brother, on hypnosis. So because that's such a long topic, The unfortunate part is we Muslims don't do researches. That's
that's our problem. Our ancestors, great ancestors, early scholars learned from Greeks, learned from the West, and Islamicize it. Psychology, philosophy, chemistry, all other medicine, and we produced much better product out of it. Ibn Sina, Kitab al-Tib, for example, is still a good book. So inshallah, it's just a beginning, my dear friends, and Brother Kamran, inshallah, whenever you have time and energy to teach us, we will be very happy to learn from you. Any other question from the participants?
We have taken more than enough time, I think.
If there are no questions, Brother Kamran, if you want to say something, then we inshallah say goodbye.
So if there is no question, great, fantastic. I see there are a couple of questions, I think, on YouTube. Let me just quickly look at that.
I can't see YouTube from my laptop because the voice are mixing up.
That's perfectly okay. So I'll just quickly check that. So we have discussed this. So somebody has questions about, so can we use it for psychological purposes? So if you want to ask about my courses, you can check my website. That's first-institute.com. Okay, I can share that and you can go to my website and that's where you will find all the information about my courses. And, it's like this is my website. You can check this. Okay, this is first-institute.com. So I saw there's a comment, and here, when you come here, you will find I have like different tracks for some people who want to learn NLP, or people who want to learn hypnosis, or people who want to get life coaching. There are some videos here as well, and some like what is NLP, basic definition, what is hypnosis, what is life coaching. It's in Urdu and in English as well. So for example, if you go here, you will find I have a short video here, and so you can watch this. You will find these on my YouTube channel as well. So I have these different tracks. Most of my courses are in Urdu and English, but I have a complete NLP home study course, which is called NLP Pro, which is completely in English, entirely in English. You can check that. Okay. And but these days I'm running a campaign here, a discount campaign. So you'll find details on my website. If under every course you are actually getting 80% off on my home study courses. So you will check that on the website, and you can always contact me through WhatsApp. On my website, you'll find the link. And there are hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel. Check them if you have any questions. So I think this is it for today.
Jazakallah, brother Kamran, you really gave us too much time, your precious time. We appreciate this. Inshallah, in future, we can come together. We want to invite you to Istanbul one day, for business as well as for pleasure and going around. Jazakallah khair. Also, we appreciate your interest in Turkish film industry, Ertugrul, and we are also waiting some new films coming up. I will inform you, inshallah. Okay. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.